whole
back.
thing is about I want it to be realistic.
They at least want. Hello, Joseph, and welcome to Gabbin with Gab. Welcome back,
For
everyone, for
having
episode
me.
5. Of course, you're an honored guest. Joseph has been with us since the beginning.
I've been helping since day one.
He's been an expected guest. We were supposed to record in person so many times, but life happened. COVID happened. Life happened.
Much. There's been so much.
Now he's the honorary first Zoom recording, which we absolutely love. And the best part about it is if anyone is going to do a virtual thing, it's going to be someone who is a social media icon. If anyone is going to do a video, it's going to be someone who knows how to video and how to be an internet celebrity.
The next influencer, Joseph Koehne.
Seriously, JOKO. Okay, so speaking of influencing, JOKO in Chicago. Well,
Yes,
first we should give a little background on who JOKO is, and I will be calling you JOKO. His name is Joseph Koehne, like Cheese Koehne. He's from Cincinnati.
Yes, I am. So JOKO is should I give what JOKO is?
For sure. And
perfect. So in high school, I didn't have a nickname, so they were JOKO. So it's Joseph Koehne JOKO.
JK JOKO.
It's so cute, but that's kind of my nickname. And then JOKO in Chicago was born because I moved here.
We love nicknames in our little Chicago friend group. We're a big nickname crew. There you are. You were frozen for so long.
Cut out?
I don't know. You were just
so are you.
I was just talking to myself.
Oh, you were frozen
Anyway, JOKO is JOKO in Chicago now, but he used to be JOKO from Cincy. That's actually how we met. Not because we're from the same place, but we had a mutual friend. One of my friends, Megan, from high school. You guys were childhood friends.
Yeah, so Megan was my neighbor growing up, and then she went to the same high school as Gabby. And then when we found out we were going to the same school in Chicago, we were oh my god, we know the same person. So fun.
I know. And actually the very first day of convocation or whatever, we ran up, or I ran up to him and I was like, oh my god, hi, I'm Megan's friend. And then he was like, hi. But then a few weeks later, I know. And then a month and a half later-ish, I was like, hey, want to hang out? Because we had a class together.
We were trying Hocus Pocus and had a chill night.
And it's been born from there. But we had a class together, and it was a communications class, and we actually made a podcast episode together. And that's kind of what has inspired that was part of the reason I started Gabbin with Gab. I'd always wanted to do something like this, but doing the podcast with JOKO, and he started recording some things too. And then
I dabbled. I think I would need some more practice, and I don't know if podcast is my way of influencing, but it's good to be a guest, and maybe I'll get some experience.
It's so fun because now you're still creating something, even if it's not a podcast. Exactly. With JOKO in Chicago. So when was that born? Actually, how long have you had it? It's already hit over 100 followers.
So JOKO in Chicago has been alive since, let's check. I think it's been early January, or not even early. So I created it January 12th. And basically what I wanted to do, what JOKO in Chicago is, it's an Instagram. And it's soon to be TikTok too. And basically what I wanted to do was create an Instagram social media that was highlighting what a college student's life is like in Chicago. So I wanted to do a little day in my life videos, post what I do for school, post how my school works, have restaurants around Chicago, just different things about how to live as a college student in Chicago. So JOKO in Chicago was born.
A little Emily in Paris inspired, or
a little Emily in Paris. She inspired me just a little bit with the name. I love that show, so it kind of helps with
it works. It's catchy. Your name isn't too long because you've got the nickname.
It works. It's perfect. And soon to be more followers, and all of you guys who are listening can follow it too.
Is the goal to have this be your main platform rather than your personal like Instagram and personal socials, or
I would like to for now. I mean, for now, it's nice to have a goal of like getting that platform to get a little bit higher than like my personal, because
mm-hmm.
my personal is kind of built for like my friends and everything. But this one's supposed to be just like a lighthearted way of like my glamorous life in Chicago. So I think it's like a cool way to like show that. So hopefully, maybe it could get a little more famous than my like regular platform.
Yeah, and you mentioned TikTok too.
Yeah, so I have like my like
Personally,
normal
I
TikTok
think
account,
that your
but
normal TikTok account would go off enough.
I
But
think that I would just keep like if I move forward with JOKO Chicago, like I would just keep my normal TikTok, like just post
mhm.
Chicago content because I already do post a lot of Chicago things.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep on posting that and then like double post it onto like Reels on Instagram and get it like marketed through both
Are
sites.
you liking Instagram or TikTok right now, or like what's your favorite platform?
I think personally, I like it's hard to say. I like Instagram a lot because I think it's
Okay.
just like I'm a picture person. I'm always taking pictures of everything, like just something I like to do. But TikTok's also nice because I like the video content and it's easy to create like videos about like things around Chicago. So I think like
Hmm.
the blend of the two and like posting TikToks on Instagram. Obviously I can't post like
Reels,
Insta Reels. It works. Like
YouTube
I don't know,
Shorts.
I've seen those on yours. I've seen the YouTube shorts. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
TikTok's a good way to like promote things and it keeps on blowing up bigger and bigger. So
And you also dance. So like I think is your most viral video the Boss
yes,
Ladies
it
one?
is. I in my brain and the timeline, I started the Boss Ladies trend back up again because we posted it on December 20th and it blew up on December 25th and everybody was doing it.
I
And
know.
JoJo Siwa's video was like right next to ours. So
It is?
subtle brag. It
My
was before
God.
like everybody started posting it, and then everybody
Right.
started posting it
And like the
because
other dance moms are posting it and stuff.
yeah. So with I think like I dance too, so dancing content is also fun like on
Hmm.
TikTok, and you can't really do a ton of them on Instagram. So I think like the good blend of the two is great.
That's another reason we bonded. And the cheer for a
Hmm.
year trend, senior year cheer.
Yeah,
We
do cheer
both
for a
just
year,
ended up doing it for 1 year. I mean, I loved
captain your
it.
senior year.
You, not me, but go off. Anyway, so like people are like, what makes you qualified to like just want to be an influencer? And I'm like, well, it's your major. We're
Yeah.
on.
So
And your artistic self too. But I'm sure a lot of people don't
exactly.
really know what it means to be a social media major. Like, are they training you to be an influencer? Are they training you to like run brand accounts? Like what kind of classes are you taking? Like give us the whole laydown.
So it kind of depends on like each person's path and what they want to do with social media. Like
Hmm.
some people are like doing the major so that they can like start their own app or something, or they can create their own like business profile through social media. And there's other people who want to be like an influencer. There's other people who like want to market with other brands, like with social media. But a lot of the like things that we learn my first semester I learned a lot about like how to start up an app and like how to start up like a social media brand. Like in one of my classes we had to our whole like class was designed to like create an app that would like help with mental health through social media.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a fun way to learn that and
So it
do all
wasn't
of
just
that.
like an app, you also had like a real world like problem you were
Hmm.
solving. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we had to do all of that, which was really fun, and I liked doing something that was some sort of like social media with mental health because I think those two like topics need to like go well hand in hand because a lot of people
Yeah.
don't like put them together very well. So that's like one of the fun things I learned last semester. But I think it's cool to be like a social media major to like learn about a whole different world that a lot of people don't see in school.
Where do you think you want to take your degree? Like, are you trying to be on influencer side, brand side? Like, give me like ideal scenario and then maybe give me like your first step to getting there or like your more realistic like perspective on it.
So ideally, what the goal would to be on the kind of marketing side.
Okay.
So I would like to get some sort of internship either this year or next year, start working for some sort of brand. And then once I like feel comfortable and it's like, okay, like I feel like this is a good fit for me, like get higher up, and then start
Mhm.
posting for content with them. And then hopefully becoming more of like an influencer with them. So like there's like a few brands that I have in mind that I'd like to like work with and
Shout them out. Let's manifest right now. What kind of brands are you
like
thinking?
I would love to do, I mean, it's a stretch, but I'd love to work with Lululemon, and I would love to be like kind of like the Cody Rigsby of Lululemon. Like
Okay.
he's my idol in life. Like I love everything that he does and like his positive attitude with like social media and with like fitness. So I'd
Hmm.
love to do like some Lululemon lifestyle things, start working for their social media and be like one of their brand reps through that kind of side. So that's like one brand I'd like to do. I really love the whole like fitness component of social media and like making it more social and making it like an app of some sort. So like working for
Like
some sort of like
Peloton, but like
Peloton
for
or like
more different kinds of
mhm,
workouts.
exactly, or like working like maybe being a social media rep for Equinox and like doing something of that sort and
Okay.
then like getting up there and being like the Equinox ambassador and being like, oh, you know, Joko from Equinox or Joko from Lululemon and like being like Cody Rigsby from like Peloton. So
So would you want to like start associated with like one company and then eventually like go to your own brand and be like a brand ambassador for different places? Or are you thinking you would want to stay with like one company and then just like work your way up through the ranks?
I think I'd like to stay with one company and then create like my line through them, like or like create like the Joko
Okay.
thing of them. Like maybe there's like a certain like mat that I have or a certain like workout line that I have
Mhm.
of clothes or like a certain phone
Dance
case
heels
of
for
some
men.
sort. Dance skills for men, like doing like classes of like that, fun things like that. Like I'd like to create more of a social presence through like one type of company.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of like clothing, you were originally a fashion major.
I was, yeah. So I started off in like a fashion studies major with a minor in social media.
Mhm.
And after like the first 2 weeks, I like figured out that I wanted to do something more in social media and less in fashion. And then I recently just dropped the fashion. So I've been focusing more on like the social media marketing side because I liked the fashion, but I figured like everything that I would like to do in fashion isn't like what a lot of the things that I'd be learning are. So it'd be
Mhm.
a lot of things that we're learning is a lot of like product development and like retail and a lot of things of like wanting to be a buyer or a seller for like a company, and that's like not what I'm like really wanting to do with fashion. So I
Mhm.
decided like I'd want to like focus more on the social media marketing side and like stick with that and see how that
Okay. Love it. And I also
goes.
like listening to you talk about how this like fitness aspect of social media
Yeah.
and the like positive attributes of like physical fitness, but it not feeling like a chore because of like your community you've developed.
Exactly. And I think if like we turn fitness into a way of like making it like social and like you can hop on an
Hmm.
app and do workouts with people, and like I know like the Peloton app has like a lot of things where you can like do workouts online with a group, but like making it more social could be something different where it's like you get to like make little group chats and then you guys do group workouts together with like some personal instructor or like
Hmm.
something of that to make like fitness some feel like something that's like not what like you said like not like a chore but like something that's like a fun thing to do, which I always like doing.
Yeah, I think like one thing I've learned being when I was a social media major last semester and even just like listening to people that are influencers, what stands out to me is people that build communities. Like you were saying, an app that actually like brings people together. It just kind of reminds me of Jenna Palek and Fun on Weekdays. Like now she's like a
Yes,
Facebook page for a podcast and like people have group chats from like different cities. And I'm like, that's the kind of influencer, if I were ever going to be like a full influencer,
for sure.
I'd want to be, because I'd actually want to be like bringing people together. And I feel like your ideas with fitness and social media relate to that heavily.
And something with Jenna Pollock that I love because I love her and she has great content, is that like I've seen a lot of videos of like other people's videos that in the comment section you look and everybody's tagging Jenna Pollock because it's like everybody knows her type of like
Yes, that's
thing.
so
And
true.
like a lot of her things are like a lot of like the interior design and how like how she sets up her apartment because she like posts all of her content with that. So everybody's like tagging her in all these videos, so it
They're
creates a
like, Jenna,
community of like,
you
oh,
need
these people
help.
like
They're
literally
rooting
people
for her. They're rooting for her.
literally. But like I think if people like I get like certain influencer and like somebody sees like a smaller influencer who's trying to do something with fitness, they tag me to like help with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like it like creates a
Yeah.
community and it helps out like I love how Jana Pollock and like some other like podcast people and influencers help out like yeah, like smaller influencers because they used to be
They don't
there and then they
act
like
like
bring them
it's
up.
so cutthroat. I feel like
It's a
people like,
community, not like
yes,
a
you need to
competition.
be like on your shit, but like it's really not. What did you say? It's community, not a what?
Competition.
Exactly. Like I feel like the only person you need to be competitive with is yourself, I think. Like
Yeah.
always thinking how you can better your own content, like how you can add different things in. And I feel like one thing that's a hot topic right now that I'd love to get your opinion on because I've seen so many TikToks recently. How to grow your following in 2022. How to do this. You should post a 7-second video with text on the screen so it loops and they have to keep reading the text. Like all these people are like, we're starting our influencers' careers in 2022. And like,
Mm-hmm.
not saying like you kind of did that, but you did. But I don't think it was inspired by this place of, oh, I want to get like money or anything.
Mm-mm.
But all these like accounts that are posting tips and acting like they're like know the algorithms and things, I feel like a lot of them say to niche down and like focus on very specific things, but I don't necessarily like love that idea. And I'm just kind of curious, like your thoughts about that.
I think the algorithm is real. And I think that like there is like a certain way to like you post this, this, and this, and then things will blow up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think like the whole like niching down on one thing, like sure that will like reach one type of person. Like let's say like
Mm-hmm.
you're posting content that is about like I know like anime, something like that, and you post only anime, you're only gonna get that like one population of like that
You're
type
gonna
of
like
person. Where
max
like
out.
let's say like you wanted to do like movie TV content and you want to do anime, comedy, rom-coms, thriller, and then so you post things about all of these different things, then you reach all the communities who like all these different things. So like personally, I think like niching down to like one thing isn't like the
I guess
best
I think
way.
that if you're like an educator and you're like a teacher, then niching down makes sense. But like
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be a real personality and have people actually trust what you're saying, I feel like you can't niche down.
It's all about like what you want to do. Like there's so many people like I'm trying to think of like some like Jenna Pollock's a great example. Like she has like
Yeah.
bachelorette content because she like always was gonna like audition for the Bachelor. She's dating one of the former like contestants of the Bachelorette. Like she has that kind of content. She also has her like apartment content. She has like fashion content.
Fashion.
Like she has all like these different components that are all into one
She used
thing.
to work for
And like
TikTok and she shows like all
she used to
parts of
work for
her
TikTok.
life. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I think that like being like an influencer and is like all about like reaching all different types of target audiences. And you don't want to like cut down to one because then you only have like your same people and it's not like growing your
Hmm.
population and growing your business.
Target audience is such a buzzword. So like I'm a little curious. When you post, are you thinking about like a very specific target audience or are you just like trying to reach people in Chicago?
Whenever like people ask me like because my dad is helping me a lot with like the joke in Chicago because he just wants me to like
Be
bring my business
successful.
forward and like be successful. And like something that he's trying to like be like is oh what's your target audience and who do you want to reach? And I feel like there's a few different like people that I want to reach as like current students who are in Chicago that can relate to it. So it's the relation of it. People who are looking into going to like being in a school in Chicago. So like I know a
Mhm.
few people from my high school that have reached out to me and have been like, how do you like living in Chicago? Like what are your thoughts on it and all? And
What's it
like
like
I'll
going to
like have a
fashion
conversation with
school? Like,
them and then I'll be like, follow my Instagram because like this will give you all the content that you need and like show you what my life is like and like what a realistic like kind of like view is from my point of view. So I have like that kind of side and then like also like Chicago content creators. Like I saw TikTok the other day that was like 20 of the like most famous like Chicago content creators on TikTok all got together and had like a little brunch. So I want to reach out to like
mhm.
that kind of audience and then grow my business through them because then it's like, oh, I can like collab with them, reach out to them, have like Chicago content. So it's like
Yeah.
all different target audiences. And like I think like having more than one is okay. And it kind of
Yeah,
like
I
goes with like
agree.
the niching down to one thing. But I think like with my what I want to do, there's like the whole like people living in Chicago, people wanting to live in Chicago, like it's all different types of people. People who just like Chicago in general, like it's a great city to
Mm-hmm.
love.
Mm-hmm. Okay, do you think that you have to be in a big city to be successful influencer though?
Hell no, definitely not. Like I don't know, like my TikTok that blew up, I was in Cincinnati, Ohio. Like it wasn't like a Chicago TikTok. Like I know a lot of like people who have been influencers and they started out small. Like Emma Chamberlain, she started out
Mm-hmm.
small and then moved to California. And then like that's what I mean, obviously she got a lot more famous and got a lot more of her brand deals whenever she was like in LA. But like I don't think you need to like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm going to move to LA to get famous." And it's just like you
Yes,
can
there's like brand deals
if
out
you have the
there.
spark and you have like the thing, that it factor, you
Hmm.
don't need LA to get famous. Or you don't need New York, Chicago like to get
Especially with
famous.
COVID because brand deals, they're not happening so supervised anymore.
No, a lot of things will be like remote or like you have to do things like that. Like I feel like there are certain types of influencers that need to get famous, like through like or like their thing is from being in the city. Like take like everybody's new favorite influencer right now, Axel Weber. Like, you
Con-
know him, right?
Controversial topic.
Yeah, like he is getting his following because of living in New York and like the budgeting of living in New York, and he kind of blew up out of nowhere.
Bro, that is
And
such a good example of like the hive mind effect though, because so many people were like, "Oh my god, I Axel's his name, right? I love
mhm,
Axel. He's so funny. Oh my god, we need to help him. He shouldn't be living like that." And then he had the whole Juilliard thing, and everyone was like emailing Juilliard saying he should have gotten in. And like, as
Juilliard
someone who's
lost 2 stars on their like Google ratings because of the TikTok community
see,
with
that's
Axel
just
Weber.
what like is insane. That kind of power of social media. Like, as someone who auditioned
Mhm.
for schools, like you can't just do no training and expect to get into Juilliard because you
Yeah,
have like, and I don't even think he was saying that, but I think his followers thought like that was going to happen. And then all of a sudden people started saying, wait, actually, I heard Axel's actually rich. Axel, like, this is a scam. And now a bunch of people are like turned against him. And it's just like this huge controversy. And I bet you in 2 months, no one is going to know who Axel is because of the
yeah,
way the hype, it's not really called the hype anymore, but like the hive mind travels. And I feel like it's best to not, yes, it's great to have a viral content to attract an audience, but not to be like, I almost think it's better to not be like the spotlight with everybody staring at you, everybody watching your every move. Like,
mhm.
you become a
It's
character
scary.
instead of a personality.
Exactly, exactly. And like his whole character is like broke college student living in New York and like kind of his like daily things that he does with it. And like I mean, he did the damn thing. Like he's blowing up like a lot. Like he was on
I
the Ellen
know.
show.
I
Or no,
know.
that was
He's
Kelly Clarkson.
he's funny too. It's just weird to think about like how the audience how he might lose that audience because of people like fighting for him, fighting against him.
Mhm.
Like, controversy is a way to get your name in the presses, but it is also a way to like lose your audience to lose trust in you.
You like are like kind of like lying on social media is also a different thing. Like if you are like
I mean, you're like
lies.
right, but like I'm glad to say like I know both of us are pretty genuine on social media, but there are a lot of people that aren't genuine on social media.
Like
So,
there's like the whole like a lot of scandals that happen. It's just like, oh, I'm team this, I'm team that. Like they lied
mhm.
about this, they lied about that, and it's just like if you just be genuine, you're not gonna be in all
I
these
know.
issues.
I know. There's one YouTuber I love, Remy Cruz. And she always
Love
talks.
her.
Oh, you know her? Do you listen to Pretty Basic?
Yeah.
Shut
Wait,
up. With
like
Alicia?
Remy, like who does like the
Like,
back to like a realistic try on haul from Zara?
no, different Remy.
Oh,
But I love that Remy
edit that
too.
out. That's so bad.
No, I love that Remy too though. But Remy, this is like a YouTuber, and she more of a YouTuber than like because the other Remy posts on TikTok a lot more too.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. She always talks about how she's scared she's gonna wake up one morning and be canceled. Because she's the most genuine
So
person.
scary.
She's
It's
the
so
most genuine
scary.
person, but you always worry about like people are gonna find shit from your past. But I feel like if you just unapologetically yourself, unless you've done something like actually bad, then like you shouldn't have to worry about that stuff
And
as much.
we, in our social media class that we had last semester, I think you talked about it at one point when it was just like, I think we had to make like a TikTok about ethics. And I think
Mm-hmm.
you made one that was really like intriguing. And it was like when you think about like 20 years from now, something that like is so normal for us to say or do could be like completely canceled in 20 years. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
weird how cancel culture works and like how like canceling works and like something that was like so normal, like not giving them the benefit for anything that people have done, but like things have been normal like a long time ago. And then now there's like completely like you should never do things like that. And then like
Yeah.
think about like things that we like say like I don't know, like putting on chapstick, that this becomes like something that's like horrible in 20 years. Then I got
Right.
canceled because I put on chapstick when I was 19 years old.
Or
Like,
like using a paper product or something and then there's no trees
yeah,
and like, but I think that what's interesting is like we have to, people learn from, like, people who grow with the times should be fine, but now we're seeing examples of people who may be different now, who's like all old stuff is being brought up, and in some
uh-huh.
cases it's 100 million% valid, and in other cases it's like people are always looking for a reason to cancel you, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
for sure. It's like
And just like,
if you're an influencer and you have like a following, you have a huge target on your back, and people are going to be like watching your every single move to like find when you mess up, and then they can cancel you. Like certain like Charlie D'Amelio, like she hasn't been like a huge like she's been huge in like the whole like TikTok community, but she hasn't had like a serious scandal yet. And like she's had like a few little things, but like
she's had
like
people
she
create drama around her. She hasn't actually done
exactly
anything. Yeah.
exactly like people have like if you have the following, people are gonna have a target on your back because they're jealous and they want the content, they want to have those followers,
Hmm.
and then people will do anything they can to like cancel her and it's be like, oh well, I heard that she did blah blah blah, blah like 10 years ago, like oh I heard that she did blah blah, blah. Like you know what I
And
mean, like
honestly, I think some of it comes from jealousy because
oh for
we were
sure.
talking about this in my class yesterday. Like, the creator market is insane. Like, people are making so much money online. And that's why these people are wanting to like start new accounts and like start new Instagrams. And I think what sets people apart is people who actually like care about it and creating communities, like you were saying, versus the people that just see an opportunity for monetization and like attack it. Because, okay, one thing I think is like almost everybody wants to be an influencer. Like,
uh,
deep down, I think
Even if you don't say it, everybody wants that, like
they at least want the money. And even if they don't want the fame, they at least want the brand deals. Like, we see these people get a million packages at their door every day, and we're like, why can't I do that? You know?
exactly.
And like, I think part of me is like, yeah, there's so many influencers already. Like, why would I even try? The other part of me is like, there's there will be a seat for everyone at the table that deserves a seat at the table.
Her. That's a good way to put it. I love that.
Because if you actually have the work and you actually care, you will eventually get there. I do think it's a
Hmm.
little overwhelming when you go on TikTok and you see someone with 20 million followers and you have 2K and you're like, how will I ever get to that level? But like, you can still have a successful platform without those huge numbers. And I feel like that's something people forget too.
Exactly. Like I think like some of my favorite influencers like aren't even the ones that are verified and like have like a huge following. Like it's okay to be like a small influencer because like you still have a huge fan base that like loves and supports you. And like even if you get to like that like middle mark of like I don't know, like 500K and like
Hmm.
you have like a huge
That's
following and
still
like or like
huge, you know?
that's still big. And like if you have like your like little like team or like your little I don't know what they're called, like the like fan base or whatever,
Yeah.
like it works. Like as long as you like have the passion, you love what you're doing, like go for it and like
Hmm.
become like what you want to do. Like I love the whole like lifestyle component of social media and I love doing like travel videos and everything. So like I'm gonna like I love what I do. I'm gonna do
Hmm.
that. Just post on social media. Maybe somebody likes it. Like it's all about just going for it. Like a lot of people are just kind of scared and they're like, oh, like I want to be an influencer, but like I just don't know what I would do. And she's like, whatever you love doing, just post about it, and then people will like, other people like it. Like let's say you love to eat Rice Krispie treats. Okay, make all of your Rice Krispie treat videos, and then like people who love the Rice Krispie treats, boom, you have a you have a Rice Krispie treat community. Like it's
That
all
is
just
such a
about
good way
like,
to explain it.
it's just like whatever you love doing, just decide to post it. Like it's not that scary. I mean, it is kind of scary,
It
but like
honestly is a lot of work too. Like I feel like it's a lot about time
keeping it
management
up,
as well. Yeah.
like I've with my Instagram, like it's only been up for about like 2 weeks now, but I
Hmm.
feel like I have to be posting like every single day.
Hmm.
And like yesterday I was like, oh my god, what do I post? What do I post? What do I post? And it like I walked outside of Target and the skyline looked beautiful and this and like the city looked so pretty. I was like, oh my god, I'll just post a picture and just be like, cute walk home from my Pilates class. Like
And I feel like
it's all
that's
just
what's
about like
attractive
that.
right now is like the spontaneity and like the
Uh-huh.
genuineness because there's so many influencers from like the past 10 years that it's all picture perfect, Photoshop, and it's the aesthetic we like, but it's not realistic. And like people that post like you, people like Jenna, even how Emma started, I wouldn't necessarily she say that to her Instagram. She
Yeah.
posts photo dumps, but they're still very well like curated photo dumps, you know what I mean? But like how she started that vibe of feeling like, oh my God, that's attainable is what attracts people versus like so picture perfect. But one thing I am curious about is what you think about like there's a saying like in the social media community that you have to be just out of reach in order to make it big. Like your lifestyle has to be seem like anyone can live it, but you have to be like one little notch ahead or like one little
Mhm.
notch more famous so people like strive to want to be like you because if you're
Yeah.
too normal, if you're too basic, people won't be attracted to that level. Like are you do you like believe that? Are you do you think you're like that personally? Like
Kind of, because I mean, I see a lot of influencers that like do what I kind of am like striving to do, which is like the whole
mhm,
lifestyle and like Chicago content and like just like more like the lifestyle. Like I don't know how to like describe those type of videos, but you know what I'm talking about.
mhm,
And like I see people who have a little bit of a bigger following and they have like a little bit more of like a better quality video and like more quality content, and it like makes me want to be like, okay, like I want to like buy this and this and this so that it can like
mhm,
be a little bit more of a quality video. And then I'm gonna like, it pushes me, like when I was the other day I made like a little day in my life in Chicago, and it pushed me to like go outside and like go to brunch and then go do this and then go do that, because it's like, okay, like this like pushes me to like go want to do more things, and then makes you explore things. Like I had like been
mhm,
like exploring Chicago so much, and I've only been here like 4 days now, and it feels like I've already done to like 3 restaurants. I've been on so many walks. It's snowing, so I've been doing a lot of things like outside. Like it's just like I feel like if you see the person that you want to be and they're a little bit better, like it's a little bit of a push, honestly. Like it's like, oh, I
mhm.
want to be like them. I'm gonna do what they can do, but like
Yeah.
twist up and do it better. Like I see somebody who's just posting videos like in their apartment. Okay, like I'm gonna post in my apartment, but I'm also gonna go outside and film other things. Like just do
Mhm.
like whatever like you want to, like what you like and what you see, and just add the twist and make it a little bit
Do you think that you're romanticizing your life and do you think that's a bad thing? Because I think people are
better.
like oh, like romanticizing, let's say, like I was posting romanticizing living in Oxford, Ohio, you know, but for me,
Yeah,
like that's how I genuinely feel about like this place. But other people may be
yeah.
like, you're like you're too happy about it, like you're faking it. I don't know.
I don't think like
What do you feel about that?
romanticizing is, I like, I don't think that it's a negative thing. Like
Okay.
I think romanticizing is perfect, and it's just like if you want to live in your happy little bubble that's like telling yourself that like wherever you live is the best place ever, why the fuck not? Just do it. Like
Right.
it's such like a fun thing to have, and like romanticizing your life is such like a fun term nowadays, and it's just like it spices up everything. Like if I want to romanticize my life, I'm gonna like walk around the city, like close my eyes, put in my headphones, think that I'm like walking around like Manhattan, thinking that this is like I'm the richest fish in the world. Like it's like
Yeah.
fun to romanticize your life, and it's like making these little like day in my life videos makes it like, oh my God, like I'm doing it. Like I'm doing this
Right.
like
I
thing.
feel
And
like
it's
when you
like
actually create the content, you're like, whoa, this is actually my life that I'm living right now. Like,
when I like watch it back, I'm like, there's no way that I at 18 years old moved to Chicago by myself, made a huge group of friends, am a social media major. I've been to a Lululemon fashion show this semester. I've been like going out on the town. I've been like invited to like different events and things. Like
yeah,
it's just like I'm doing it. Like it's cool that it's like it's
you're actually
actually
doing it.
happening. And
Yeah.
like romanticizing, like when I watch it back, it's just like done. Like it's nice to like watch it back and see like, okay, I'm making this, like I'm making it happen.
Do you think that you would, if you were having a bad day or like a week where you were like, I'm sick of the city, it's too cold, it's too windy, you would post your thoughts about that stuff? Like, are you feeling, what are your thoughts on not
I would, because my
holding
whole like
back?
thing is about like I want it to be realistic and I want it to be
Okay.
like I tell the good and the bad. Like whenever I've talked to people about like living in Chicago, I'm like, it is great, it is fun. Living in Chicago is going to be a different experience than living in Miami. Like you've had like the two different like experiences of it, and it's like if you come here for school, you're not going to get like the typical like college campus and I'm going to go to a frat party and I'm going to rush a sorority and then there's going to be
Hmm.
like these 10 bars and like it's just like it's all about like doing your own thing, which I kind of love. Like it's like instead of like going to a frat party, I get to like walk around and go shop at Zara and then Saks and then go to like the Gucci store. Like it's all of these different things. Like it's like I don't know. It I want to post about like making Chicago like
Your
what it
playground.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I like personally have had like a rocky experience for semester and it like took me like a long time to like figure out why I chose this school. And there was like a period of time when I was like really unhappy here and I was just like I just miss like the normalcy of like what a like a hometown kind of feel is. And like I'm from
Hmm.
Cincinnati, so it's not as like city as Chicago. And then once I like found the right people, I started doing the right things, got out of like my little shell of like I'm gonna stay inside every day. I like love the city. Like I like don't think there's another place that's like more perfect for me because Chicago has this like really good not so much in the winter, but like has this really good feel of like everything. Like has the city, but then there's also we live right by Grant Park, so there's also like
The
the whole like
greenery.
greenery, and then in the summer there's the beaches here, so it's like it has like a
I
little bit
definitely
of
like it more
everything.
than New York. I
I
don't
agree.
know.
I
I
agree.
feel like it's more, I mean, Midwest people just hit different, in my opinion. Like,
Exactly. And I think New
everyone
York is a
says,
big step. And like for me, I think New York would be like a goal at some point to like live there for a few months, like give it a
mhm,
try at some point. But I think Chicago is such a good feel of like, I think it's cleaner than New York. I think it's like
mhm,
a lot, just like more of a community and like a sense that like it's not a competition. Like I feel like in New York, if I move, that's
it's
how I feel about
cutthroat.
LA too. New York, like the New York influencers there, like are like top notch, and they're always competing about like who can get into this event, who can go to like this thing, who's gonna go to like this gala, like. And I think Chicago is more about like let's just have fun, like let's film about like Chicago hot dogs and pizza and like
Yeah.
different like parks around the
The
city and like New York,
Bears, the Bulls.
the Bears, the Bulls, those things, whatever those are. I just think like Chicago just has such a good feel to it, and like I don't know, I love living here. I think that I could live here like past college, and like once I get my degree, I would like to stay here.
Okay.
So it's just like a great city to live in.
Do you think that you would get your master's and would you get it in business or like marketing or what would you, do you think you'll ever
I
get
think that
it
I'm just
or?
gonna. I think that I want to do like my hopefully 3.5 years here, four possibly, um, and like I would just graduate with like it'd be like technically my major is under the communications degree, so I would graduate with a communications degree, which I think is more than it's what I would love to do. I don't think I'd want to do any schooling past what I have, and I think that like I'm going to learn a lot in school, but I'm going to learn even more once I get an internship and once I like work with a company hand like hands on. So I
Mm-hmm.
think like once like I get that, it's going to be like kind of like I'm doing two different schooling. Like it's like I'm doing my actual schooling and then I'm also learning like what it takes to like work in the business. And I think once I get that internship, it's a perfect like
Mm-hmm.
show of like what my future is going to look like. And I think that's like schooling enough.
Yeah,
So
of course.
I don't know if I'll like go past like the 4 year mark. Like I don't think I'm going to need to like,
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned 3.5 years, and I think something that's interesting, if you can just give a quick little spiel about how people's like experiences at Columbia College Chicago aren't like typical, like
yeah.
4 year college degree, like how people start late, like leave
It's
early,
really
like
it's really an interesting school. So it's like it's kind of known as like a little bit of a commuter school, but I
but
live
like
here in
commuting
like the
from,
campus.
yeah,
They're commuting from like a lot of upperclassmen like live like outside like live in different parts of Chicago. Like we live in the South Loop, but like our
people
campus is
live
in
in
the
like
South Loop, but like
Wrigleyville or like,
a lot of people live at Wrigleyville, Wicker Park, like all these different areas of like Chicago. But I think it's cool. So I'm trying to do 3.5 years, and when you get up or like up in Columbia, you have to take a lot of elective courses, and it's like you'll have to do like a lot of capstone projects and like a lot more of like things that are really signified on your major, and then a lot of electives. So what I'm trying to build my schedule is like the typical credits at Columbia, a lot of people do 5 classes, but I'm trying to do 6 a semester so that I can take my elective courses now. And like I'm doing like 2 electives a semester so that I can try to graduate a little bit earlier. And then my like what my last semester would be in Chicago, I can just work fully and I can just like live like I'd be like fully graduated at this point, but I could just
mm-hmm.
work for my like whatever company I'm working for at that point, like a 9 to 5, like every single day.
Yeah,
So that's why I would like to try to work like or like I would like to try to do like a 3.5 situation. But if it ends up being 4 years, that's perfect. That's fine. But like a lot
yeah,
of students here, like they try to get that like 3.5 or like do like school enough, and then once they get that internship, they focus a lot on that. They live off
and to
campus
take less
and like
classes and
they
yeah,
take less classes here. So that's kind of
okay.
how like Columbia works. It's a very like career driven place. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is an art school, so a lot of people have all these different majors, but the majors that Columbia offers is great. Like, there's like I would say like the biggest pull is film and television. Like, a lot of people are
Yeah, there's
coming
a
here to do like
ton of film majors.
screenwriting and like script writing and
Cinematography.
like cinematography. Like, all these people are coming here to do different things of that sort. So I think it's cool that like there's like social media majors, there's
I know.
fashion, there's art history, there's
Graphic design.
comedy. Like you can be a comedy major
Yeah.
here and like learn how to be like a stand-up person. Like one of the biggest people from SNL went to Columbia. One of my favorite drag
Oh
queens
yeah,
from
Edie
RuPaul's
Bryant.
Drag Race went to Columbia College Chicago for costume design. It does like this school does have like a good success rate of like they have some of those individuals who have made it in their company or in their like design field. And I think to get to that place, you just have to be driven. And like
Hmm.
Edie Bryant, that's her name, right?
Yeah, Edie Bryant, I think.
Edie Bryant. Like she was like I've heard like a lot of people because a lot of my friends are comedy majors and they've talked about how like she's a big name whenever you're in the comedy department. They talk about her a lot because she was so driven and she had her little shtick that she did like in her comedy, stuck with it, and that got her onto SNL. Like
Yeah.
I think if you stick to what you like, stick to your guns, like say what you want to do, and like you can like actually get there into your like field at a school like this. Sure.
Just quickly. So I just want to do a little PR moves game. You know Girl
Okay.
Boss Town on TikTok? You know who
Mm-mm.
that is? So she is that person that's always like, here's PR moves I would make if I was Addison Rae. Here's PR moves I would make if
Gotcha.
I was
Yes, I've
Alani
seen
New.
her.
Okay, so I think that we should try to think of PR moves for a company.
Oh my god, for like
So,
each
but
other's or like for Gabbin with Gab and JOKO in Chicago? Or
I
oh my
already did
god,
PR
I don't
moves for
know.
you, Joko, kinda.
You've done
I
a
was
lot.
doing that little influencer series on my TikTok, like telling my
I
friends.
know. Go check it out on that's on your main, right? Gabby
It's on
Tollison?
my main, yeah. I'm probably gonna make it like a
Yeah.
folder so people can just like tap through.
And I have done a lot of the things that you've done. Like you told
I
like
know.
I agree and I feel like my content on my Instagram became a little bit dull and like it was a little like colorless and
It
I'm
just
such a
became
colorful
it
person.
became like it looked like everybody else in Chicago's feed.
Exactly. And I'm such a like I feel like color is a big thing for me and I'm such a like a I'd like to say that I'm a bubbly kind of person. Like,
I
and
would
like,
say
I
you
think like
are.
my Instagram like definitely looks like that if you go to like all my colorful posts. So I think I'm going to try to keep that up. And like, I'm starting to do a little bit more like fitness Instagram, fitness TikToks. I have some things in my drafts that I want to start posting. And then like after this, after I film this podcast, because my first class at 3:30, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna post some content from there and do some things in that. And I'm gonna
I
maybe
think the
post a
hardest
little bit.
thing sometimes is just clicking post. Is just like
It's
getting your
hard and
stuff
like
out of the drafts, putting yourself out there because people are gonna like laugh at you behind your back. Like people are gonna unfollow
yeah,
you, but like so what? If you're doing what you love, you'll build the audience that you want.
exactly. You just kind of don't have to like think about it. Like think of it more as like it's just like it's what you want to post. It's what you like posting. So like why not post it, you know? Like you don't have to do like everything to like what like the public eye wants to see. It's what your eye wants to see. And if you like posting it, why not do it? So it's I mean it is scary to do. Like there
Hmm.
are certain things because I'm not the biggest, like I'm not the most built guy who lifts every single day, but like posting
But
like
you
that like
don't
fitness
have to be
content,
right.
like I don't have
Yeah.
to. Like I still love working out. I do it almost like every other day or every day or so. So like just post it if you want to post it.
Yeah. Okay, give me my PR moves. I'm ready. I'm ready.
So what would I do with
You
Gabbin
can,
with Gab?
yeah.
I would, I don't know, I feel like you've done a lot so far, which is good. And I think that you've done I think you've covered the three big platforms already.
Mhm.
Because you have like a lot of like, you have a lot of TikTok, you have a lot of Instagram, and you have a lot of like YouTube things.
Mhm.
But I would say like for those, like I would stick to like on Instagram post like Instagrammable things and like try to maybe do like some story posts and do like some of like the Instagram features, like who would like to be featured in a Gabbin with Gab episode? What would you want to see on the Gabbin with
Like
Gab episode?
interactive.
Interactive is my favorite thing. Like when I was at home, I helped like I work at like a tennis club at home and I was helping them with like some of like how to like market themselves through social media. So like maybe if you were a little interactive and you had like what has been some of your favorite topics to learn over a podcast, like just do things like that and then like things that maybe like a giveaway or
Yeah.
like a 100th follower gets a podcast, something like that. Like
I'm curious what you think about posting lifestyle content on my Gabbin with Gab or Instagram. Like maybe not in feed, but like in story, like post for my weekend because like I don't really want to build my main Instagram as much, you know what I mean? And like my
yeah,
TikTok for Gabbin with Gab started as promo, but now I'm kind of just posting more like
I think that's great. I
of my
think like a
actual
cute
life.
like day in your life kind of things. As long like I think since it's on the Gabbin with Gab Instagram or TikTok, I think you should post about like day in my life. I woke up, I went to the gym, I ate lunch, I filmed a podcast episode, and then you go on more and more. So as long as you have a little bit of that, like you're continuing like what Gabbin Gab is known for, which is the podcast.
Hmm.
And like I think that would be a perfect way to like move forward with like
Okay,
PR
PR.
and like how to like work your social medias.
Yeah, love it. Okay, I just
Ah!
have like one little question before we go. Um, so we talked a lot about social media, building platforms, influencers, your own like platform you're building, career moments, how everyone wants to be an influencer, like being canceled,
Mhm.
all of like the main topics. But I'm just kind of curious, like now, since your perspective on social media has obviously shifted going to school for it and talking about it all the time. How do you look
Mhm.
at your own social media that's like on your personal account and how do you look at your friends' social media now? Like those
Um,
who are trying to be influencers and those who just post normally and like is that still
for
enough,
those who like
you know?
for those who post normally, because a lot of my friends don't want to be like a lot of okay, so I think when I'm at Chicago, a lot of my friends do want to become influencers because
Hmm.
like I'm at an art school, everybody wants to make it in their degree, and you have to be not like you have to be an influencer to be in your degree,
Hmm.
but it's kind of like what it's built for. So like I think a lot of my friends here post as like or like are trying to post as if like what they would like to do. moving forward. And I've helped a lot of my friends. Like my roommate wants to like, he's a fashion major,
Mm-hmm.
but he also is like a huge dancer, an incredible dancer. And he wants to like, I've been helping him like, this is what you need to post on TikTok and this is what you need to do on this. And then like incorporating kind of the two, like the hip hop styles of dance with the hip hop streetwear, like fashion things. And like, you can like do some things through like media with those. So I think it like gives me like starting up my own things kind of like makes me wonder how I could help some of my other friends. But like a lot of my friends from home stick to, they have their very much like they all go to like their universities and go to like Miami, University of Kentucky, OSU, UC, like a lot of these like big schools like this. And like I feel like a lot of my friends at home are just like focused on like what their personal degrees are and not much about like being an influencer. And I don't think they post as if they want to be one. So it's hard to like gauge that, which I think it's like completely fine. Like I keep my like personal Instagram like what like my like just like what a normal
Kind of
personal
like
Instagram is.
scrapbook memory
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram.
And I like promote my like JOKO in Chicago through my like my normal Instagram.
Yeah, I
But
do
like
the
I'm
same
not,
thing. It's because I have
it
more
has
followers
a
on
bigger
there for
following
now.
right now. And
Yeah.
every time that I post something of like JOKO in Chicago onto like my main, I get like a few new followers because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this looks cool, I'll follow this. Like, so I don't know. I think like it gives me a like being like an upcoming influencer, hopefully. It gives me a little bit of a sight of like how to like run other people's social medias. And like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's cool to see, it's cool to like have this kind of perspective now and like see how to like build it from going forward. But
Love
yeah.
it. Ah, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like
Of
we hit so many
course.
great things.
It was so fun to do. I love doing this. It like gives me like, oh my god, should I start a podcast? Like, should I do more of this
I
now?
know,
Like,
it's just more, I love educating, so I feel like that's why I created this. Like,
yeah.
I chose
And
this platform route, so
you do such a great job of just like talking to people. You come prepared. Like it's all perfect. Like you are built for this. Like you like Gab
I
with Gab
think
is gonna be there someday.
I
For
know.
sure.
I kind of discovered that I like interviewing people because you have so many like great friends and maybe you have deep talks sometimes, like obviously we have, but like there's other people in my
Mm-hmm.
life I don't know on a deeper level, or I
Let's
don't
get
know
it like
all of the great ideas they have, and I love like sharing that with people. So,
and bringing them on here, it could give you like a more of an insight of like, oh, maybe this sounds like a fun like idea to try and
yeah.
like different things. Like I know like trying to get like when you had Molly on yours and like some people who like haven't really done musical theater see like that it's not kind of like a nerd thing to do because a lot that has like kind of that stigma. And if it has
I
like two
know.
of you guys going onto it, like it's like, oh wait, this is cool. Like I kind of like this. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite episodes because it was also so fun. Like this was like it was just
Yeah.
nice to like be I love interviewing people who are like genuine and real, and yeah, I'm just so happy you could come on. Shout out your
No, I'm so happy to be
socials.
here.
JOKO in
My
Chicago.
Instagram for my main is just at Joseph Koehne, JOSEPH KOEHNE. And then my influencing Instagram is at JOKO in Chicago, JOKO, and then in Chicago. So go give
Ah,
it a follow,
perfect.
support.
Go
It's so
follow Gabbin with
fun.
Gab, comment, like down below. Oh, I have such a good
Everybody
TikTok
come.
idea. I need to tell you after I stop recording.
Okay, please do.